We are back at Allie's Alehouse. How's everybody doing?
Good.
Very well.
I'll tell you what, we haven't talked enough about Allie's lately. We're sitting here. I think we took him for granted for a few weeks because maybe we were drunk.
Maybe.
No, not the show.
But we didn't give him any props last 2 weeks because I think we were tanked. We had our good friends Ange and Warren on last weekend, and I don't think we even talked about Allie's once. I mean, we always tag them, obviously, but this is an incredible place. We've kind of been babied a little bit by him.
You know what? And that's the thing. I mean, you kind of get used to being at the same place, and you don't talk as much. But man, I eat well every time I come here. I drink well every time I come here. I mean, thank you, Allie's.
Riley shoving his face full of chicken fingers and scorpion sauce, I think, right now. Yeah.
And first impression, walking in here, you see the beach out here with the volleyball going on. It's October in Indiana, but you feel like it's spring break.
Yes.
You know, right out there, you know what I mean? It's just the visual aspect of it's pretty cool.
Yes.
Oh, the visual aspect gets a lot better about July.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, you can never go wrong with the view from where we're sitting, I can tell you that.
There's points where we all go.
Yeah,
when there's a lot of silence, you know what's going on.
Yeah, but those are easy edits, so.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, there'll be 20 seconds of silence, then we're all like, oh, wait, we're recording, aren't we? Sorry. Distractions.
One of the voices you just heard was, of course, our good friend Kyle Buck from Stampede String Band. Good to have you on.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Welcome back, Kyle.
Yeah.
And, of course, with you is Mr. Aaron Nicely as well from Stampede.
Hey, how's it going? Thanks for having us.
You bet. It's great to have you guys on. I think last time you were the only one that could show up because everybody was gone then.
Well, I think it was kind of a last-minute thing.
It was.
You know, saw a post on a Tuesday afternoon. I work nearby.
Yeah, I can make it. Let's do it.
At a credit union, and hey, I'll be there at 6:15. Everyone else obviously, you know, had prior obligations, but I was free to do it and had a blast. It was fantastic. Thanks for having us back.
Well, and of course, one of you guys are not even around here. You got a little bit of a separation between John is up in Plymouth, correct?
Yeah.
Holy moly.
Yeah.
I checked the map.
That's
That's
a
actually
minute or
in
two.
Lake Michigan. That's way up there.
Yeah.
But you guys are playing a lot. How is it for him traveling? I mean,
They don't ask questions. They just say, you show up.
yeah.
Well, you know, I mean, we try to be conscientious of that. You know, we try to, when we do our scheduling, we do our traveling, we try to block it up and bunch it up so that way it ends up evening out. You know, this year we actually played a lot more northern shows. We're going to make our, third trip back to South Bend here in a couple of weeks.
Yeah. Oh, nice.
And we haven't been quite up to Chicago yet, but we have been to Plymouth twice. Like I said, South Bend a few times. And we're not strangers to the Culver area, anything like that.
Right.
So, you know, we've been kind of gives us an opportunity to spread out that way, you know, kind of take some of the work off of him and kind of even things out, but also kind of branch out in that way as well.
Right.
Every time we go up there, I'm surprised he ever comes down here at all. It's that's almost 3 hours to South Bend, 2 hours and 45 minutes, something like that.
Yeah,
I'm like, dude, what are you doing? Like, I love you, but you don't have to do this. But we're happy every time he shows up.
Yeah.
Every time you have an event, you're like, oh, Jesus Christ, he did show up. Like you have a backup waiting for him.
But he's a hell of a musician.
Oh,
so
absolutely.
I'm sure you're glad he shows up.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, all you guys are. And of course, anybody that doesn't know Stampede yet, which I'm sure most of our listeners already do, but they, of course, say, you guys, Americana, bluegrass, folk, I mean, a little bit of everything, right?
Yeah, we keep it a pretty steady mix. You know, we try to anyway. Those Americana bluegrass roots are always there, but, you know, we still get influenced by stuff we hear coming out today, you know, and if we feel like we want to incorporate that or maybe we want to simplify things and, you know, kind of step out of our normal songwriting.
Oh, you throw a little
know,
Beyonce in there every once in a while? Yeah.
Well, I actually no,
Not
but
too far.
but I saw the Dixie Chicks cover Beyonce.
Oh, Jesus
That
Christ.
was really weird.
No, there's nothing good about the Dixie Chicks.
There's that was really weird seeing that happen.
We threw a little Bob Marley in here lately.
Oh, really?
Doing
Yeah.
a song called Rasta Man Chant.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
nice.
beatbox on that.
Really?
Actually. Yeah, yeah. It's
So-
it's you know luckily pretty simple beat, but yeah, it's really cool. The guys' harmonies are just fantastic on it, and you know minimalist instrument, but there are a couple times where it kind of drives on you. So it's a fun new one that we're doing.
Good deal.
We've got the live album coming out this fall,
Okay.
and we've got a bunch of shows, you know, gearing up for its release.
Ah, okay.
Yeah,
That's not actually scheduled yet.
No. We've still got to nail down our art and distribution.
Okay.
But it's recorded, it's mastered, it sounds fantastic.
Oh, good.
And we've got a title for it. It's going to be called 5, Live at the Hi-Fi.
Nice.
And so it's just a great mix of old stuff and new stuff that we're really proud to have been able to put together.
And is the High Five not just a spectacular place to play?
Oh,
I
It's
love
the best.
Hi-Fi. That's
to me, it's the
yeah.
best. It's the best small venue in town. There's nothing better. That sound.
we
And
got
about
to
to
see
get
incredible.
bigger.
We got to see
Yeah.
Whitey Morgan
Yes,
there.
it is
which
about
was
to get bigger.
fantastic.
Yeah. Whitey was incredible. I'd love to see you guys there. So hopefully we can make it out to that.
Please let
Yeah.
us know.
Yeah.
We actually will be coming back around that way in February-ish. We haven't officially announced yet, so I'm going to hold off on giving out any details.
Okay.
But it's going to be a big crossover show, something you wouldn't expect out of left field.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good deal.
Beyonce.
She's coming to the High Five.
Yeah.
Cat's out of the bag. Might as well tell 'em.
Well, I've said too much.
So for the listeners, what would be some of the bands that you guys drew some of your influences from? Just to give them a rough idea of, all bands are different, but, what are some of the bands that you kind of drew your influences from?
Yeah, we came, kind of started finding our sound when Mumford & Sons broke out. Then you had Avett Brothers, the Lumineers, the Head and the Heart, all kind of shooting out at the same time.
Love it.
And that's where we were getting a lot of our sound from then. But it's continued to grow and change. We've got a lot of classic rock influences, Mellencamp kind of sounding stuff. And so we go all the way from there to traditional bluegrass. We get around. We even do a Snoop Dogg cover on our live shows. So there's a little bit of everything coming
now
into
wait
the
a minute, time out.
Stampede.
Which Snoop Dogg?
Gin and juice.
You put a little gourds action out? Yeah.
Yeah.
Not quite.
Not quite?
But it's pretty awesome watching Davey sing that song. And he remembers every single word. It's fantastic.
Yeah, it's a long song, man.
It
Probably
is. It's
6
a
minutes
really
or something
long
like
song.
that.
Yeah, you're thinking, what?
I
When's
gotta
it going to end?
Yeah.
Sing tenor on that for 6 minutes. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
I kind of faked my way through it, but yeah, Davey knows every word.
That's funny.
Well, it's an eclectic group, really, of you guys. I mean, and John obviously has a lot of that bluegrass influence that he's bringing to the band, and which is cool. I mean, he's been very versed in traditional music growing up, correct? I mean,
Yeah, he came from a very, very musical family. In
Yeah.
fact, his dad still teaches stringed instruments to this day. Every time we would go practice up at his house, his family would always be there, and it would always end up being just a great big jam.
session.
Even
Yeah.
though we get
I was
our
wondering if they just judge you really hardcore. Like
no, not at all. Everyone loves it. They love to sit and listen, but everyone loves to participate as well. And so he comes from that upbringing, and I always was in a very musically open family. We would always have Sundays. We may not go to church, but we would certainly dance around and
Right.
have our moments of gratitude.
That is church.
With the record player, and so that was brought up in me, and so the kind of two converged with the magic that Aaron brought to it as well. Kind of just formed a perfect three-part. Initially three-part beast, I guess.
Right. Now, were you guys friends before, or do you guys come together looking for a bandmate? I mean, how did that happen?
We're a Craigslist hookup.
Oh, really? Nice.
Was it a
Official.
misconnection?
Men seeking men.
Yeah, man seeking like-minded Mumford & Son enthusiast.
Yeah,
Bank teller wearing the Cubs shirt.
exactly. I was
Thought you'd be really interested in bluegrass. If you are, I'll meet you at Alley's.
That's actually replace Alley's with the Anderson, Indiana Steak and Shake, and you're kind of like right on it. Yeah, I basically just posted an ad saying acoustic guitar player, love to jam. Here's what I like. If you like it too, hit me up. And I got vetted by Aaron and his wife.
She's
at
like
the
9
Anderson
months
Steak
pregnant
and
at the
Shake.
time. Like, you are not bringing some crazy person to our house.
Yeah. And once they realized I wasn't completely crazy, I played it off well.
Fooled you.
Yeah, it was just kind of the rest is history.
Yeah, 5 years later, we're still going strong.
Very strong. I mean, you guys are a young band, and you guys are getting very popular and getting more and more shows more and more quickly. You probably can't even keep up right now, right?
Well, I mean, this time of year we always tend to slow down just because of the weather change
Right.
and a lot of holidays and stuff. But we are definitely got our eyes already set on 2017, excuse me. 2017, this is the time when a lot of festivals are booking their lineups and stuff like that. So there's always feelers out. There's always communication going 24/7. You just never know when the right opportunity is going to come along.
And isn't it great in Indiana with all the beer festivals?
Oh, yeah.
How great it is to be.
We play them all.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're fantastic.
And thankfully, Kyle, he's just done an incredible job booking us and getting our name out there and getting us opportunities to go out and show what we can do. And thankfully, a lot of that has been beer related over the years. So, yeah, check us out. We'll be just about any place you can find a good beer festival.
And I think we have a beer to try in front of us, boys.
Speaking of,
we do. Which
beer.
one are we trying first here? The darker one or the lighter one?
Well, let's go with the lighter one first, of
Obviously,
course.
yeah.
All
That
right.
makes way more sense.
So the lighter one is the Alpine Pilsner from Bier Brewery.
Oh, our buddies from the Bier Brewery.
So I actually have mine in the big glass because I've actually been drinking this one all night because I took a sip and I really kind of like it. So
It's kind of odd. Jerry hasn't been on in like 2 weeks.
I know, right?
What happened to Jerry?
Is he okay? Is anybody check on him? Or?
He hasn't actually texted me. I'm feeling a little worried about him right now.
We'll go
so
check on him.
Yeah, we need to.
This one reminds me of a thicker gin almost for a second. Halfway through, it's really light and it's really complex at the same time. It's a really odd beer. At first, you kind of get a little sour note up front. Then it transfers into this almost gin flavor real quick, and then it hits to nothing. It's a refreshing beer, but I'm not a huge gin fan, so you guys probably like
I'll
it
tell you
better
what,
than
I'm getting because of the citrus, I get the aroma of gin and that citrusy and that piney.
Yeah.
But I'm not getting the flavor of gin. I get it right at the beginning, and it does quickly go it's gone.
Yeah.
And it turns right back into a clean Pilsner.
It's in.
I get that citrus hit very up front for me, and then it's gone, and it just kind of mellows into just a clean Pilsner beer.
Which is really weird. It's funny because as I'm sitting here listening to you talk more and more, I kind of got this weird.
I get the pine in the back though. That sits back there.
I almost get honey,
Yeah.
like a weird orange blossom honey or something in the very back, and it's just sitting there now.
That's not what that is.
Oh, that's Brendan's honey.
Basically, I can smell the gin in it, and I am a gin fan, so maybe that's why I do like it. I agree with you guys. In the front, there's just a hint of sour, and then all of a sudden it kind of smooths out, and then you get this really citra hop type of flavor that I could almost equate to a gin flavor.
It's odd to have that citrus in the Pilsner like that, so it's kind of an odd beginning.
Yeah, and it kind of hits you, but it goes away really quick. It doesn't linger. It doesn't stay. And the mouthfeel on this for being a Pilsner is incredible to me because it's so full.
Yeah.
It's not watery. It's not thin. It's a very full flavored beer.
100% agree with you there.
So I enjoy it. I've had like 2 or 3 of them tonight already. So what do you guys think? What do our guests think about it?
I think it's very good. It kind of surprised me after I tasted it that it was a Pilsner because of that kind of hoppy aftertaste there. I really enjoyed it, and I would almost call it. You described it almost like as a gin or a pine taste there, but I almost got like a I don't know, almost like a wood chip smoky kind of initially.
Cedar or something maybe.
Yeah, exactly. But also that hint of citrus in there. So I don't know. It's really complex. Very complex for a Pilsner.
For a Pilsner, exactly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Very complex for a Pilsner.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I'm not a big Pilsner drinker, but the citrus in there really makes it interesting. It's thick. It's not a thin kind of wash away, but it finishes clean, and I enjoy it.
And I think, Cowboy, for you being an IPA guy, you're not getting as much of the IPA hops.
No.
We're getting, wow, this is a hoppy Pilsner, but
Which
you're
is
like,
weird,
this ain't that bad. This is wheat.
No, yeah, and that's really what I come out as. It almost is like a wheat to me, and that's exactly what I feel like. And I think that's why I'm getting a lot of this honey out of it. A lot of the afternotes of honey is hitting me. Like after it sits for about a minute, I start getting this weird, almost orange blossomy honeyness, and coat your tongue almost.
I'll tell you what, for most Pilsners, you got to drink ice cold. This one is,
no.
It's fine.
And actually, the longer it sits, the better I like it. But I'm not getting hardly any hop off this. I know you guys are. It's not it's real light.
Hunter, what do you think?
Well, I was expecting it to be a little lighter than it really is. It's really got some substance to it. I do agree. It finishes very clean. Fantastic beer. I mean, I'm not generally a Pilsner guy, but this is all right. I could drink a couple of these.
There's a lot of depth to it.
Yeah,
a lot of times Pilsners are very, very watered down, very, very thin.
Yes.
And this one is not. So I have a hard time calling it a Pilsner.
They're watered down tasting.
Right.
That's, I say watered down, but it's really not watered down. But when you drink heavy beer, dark beer, like a Pilsner tastes like water to you, but it's really not water. But.
Right. Well, you know what I'm saying.
I know
this one's very full flavored. Right. I mean, it's got there's a lot in there, and it's you can feel it, you can drink it. You're not chugging this like a glass of water. It's not a Miller Lite. I'm not just going to throw this one back and chug it down. So I
every
like
morning when I get up, I have a liter of water. And I can have a liter of this.
Yeah. It actually may help me get out of bed.
It'd be a great way to start my day. So I would say I think everybody agrees this is another successful hit for Bier Brewery.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, we love the guys' beer. They do fantastic things, and always look forward to what's coming out next.
Yeah.
And I know two guys don't have microphones, but they have beer. Did you guys like it? They're giving thumbs up. So
Thumbs up, yeah.
Riley says he tastes the honey in it as well. I don't taste the honey in it, but again, I don't know why I just don't taste the honey in it. So
I wouldn't have called that out, but when he says that, I'm tasting that honey back.
Yeah.
Maybe I get a little bit of sweetness at the back, but it's not.
Sad Pat likes it.
What'd I do? Did you try this one yet?
Which one?
This is called. Try it.
Somebody handed me a beer earlier.
Yeah,
I think I already had it. Which one was it?
It's a Alpine Pilsner from Bier Brewery.
Yeah, not bad. A little hoppy on the back end. But yeah, for my the taste I had. No, you're good, man. For the taste I had, still clean.
Yeah.
Not too bad. Not. Was that an ale or is a lager?
Pilsner.
Pilsner. Okay. Yeah. Then yeah. Very good.
It's got a
a
really
little
heavy
hoppy for a Pilsner.
Yeah. And a very heavy mouthfeel for a Pilsner.
Yeah. Definitely.
So all right.
Pat, ladies and gentlemen.
Thanks for the input, Pat.
He snuck in on us at the last minute here, so it's all good.
He just flew in. His arms are killing him. Anyway, back to Stampede.
Wait a minute.
What?
Is one of you a drummer?
No, string band, Stampede string
Not
band.
at all. No drummer.
My old man is a drummer. My dad is a drummer.
I was just hoping to get a rim shot tonight.
Oh. There's one.
Nothing? All right.
Now, wait a minute. I thought one of you guys did play the drums.
I have played the drums. I do occasionally play the drums, but not in the Stampede.
And for a while there, we did lug around a kick drum, which was a lot more hauling than it was actually playing. I think we used it on, 2 songs?
Yeah, it was
Maybe.
A lot of setup and not much use.
Yeah.
I had a kind of a spaz out moment where my leg just kind of got stuck in overdrive one show, and that was the end of it. I was beating out 8th notes on that thing, and
And it just kept going.
it just would not stop. I was stuck. So
One of I used to follow Black Crowes quite a bit around concert. They used to carry around a huge bass drum, like marching band bass drum, and Rich Robinson played it, which the guitarist, which was really funny, on Wiser Time. But, I mean, he would go fucking ape shit on that thing, and you're thinking, what are you doing?
Yeah, we I actually got a chance to see Gogo Bordello one time at the Mumford & Sons takeover in Dixon, Illinois. And they had someone that was their job, was to walk around stage every song and just pound this marching band bass drum, and they just nailed it, and so you couldn't hear over the rest of everyone else playing. Got a 14-person band, wild Russian man drinking Jameson and yelling all over the place, and then just it was hilarious.
Which I think that's the best thing. I need a break for a minute. I'm gonna go play this bass drum for a few. But that's that dude's only job. That's crazy.
Yeah. Actually,
That'd be a great job, wouldn't it?
chick in a dress. Small chick in a dress.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
really?
what made it even
With
funnier.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah, heels and everything. It was crazy.
Nice. I think Triangle would be a little bit more fun.
I can handle that.
a little easier on the long side.
You in a dress playing the triangle would be great.
Oh, I do it.
So you guys have 2 studio albums, all right?
Yes.
And I have both in my car. Usually, your first album, I love that album.
I really enjoyed
I love
it
both
as well,
of them, but
yeah.
that first one really love that album. I love every song on there.
Well, thank you.
It's a little more rustic, a little less polished. definitely representative of where we were at the time.
Yeah, I love
But
it.
I kind of like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I love it.
I like that a little bit more rustic, grassroots feel.
So
Yeah.
this live one, are you doing new stuff live? Are you doing? I mean, what's the live album going to be like?
Some.
A little bit of both.
There are a few newer songs. I think we ended up keeping all of them that we recorded that night. 4 of them, I believe? Maybe
we
5.
got 4 new songs, 12 songs total, so 8 you've heard before from us. But definitely some stuff off the first album that having Davey on makes a big difference in the song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, it's a brand new take on some of those. And we even had some special guests come up and really change The Only Cure Is You off our second album. That's like a 4.5, 5-minute song on the record, and it's like an 8-minute jam on this thing with extra fiddle
nice.
and
Nice.
guitar
Yeah.
on it. So
As
yeah,
long
we're
as you
real
don't
proud
go
of that one.
the. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no, we're just exceptionally proud of that one. It turned out great. Those guys are awesome from Blue Mafia.
Oh, nice.
I was just gonna say, as long as you guys don't go Dave Matthews and do a 22-minute fucking song about nothing.
Well, we thought about doing Freebird, but decided to put that on the back burner.
I can even deal with Freebird. There's something there.
Yeah,
but
that's only 8 minutes.
Dave Matthews 22-minute songs. We had a friend that used to play it at every bar we went into, and we all just wanted to kill him.
I clear out when Dave comes to town.
Yeah.
Most of us do at the table.
I know a dude.
I go to Texas.
Oh, they all have their place.
I don't think Dave Matthews plays in Texas whatsoever.
Do people still go to Dave Matthews shows? I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not over yet?
It's
I
sad.
won free tickets one time, and I went and I was like, yeah, I never will come back again. I won free tickets again on accident, and I said, no.
I equate Dave Matthews to Barney. You know, we all hope that the fucking purple dinosaur would die. I kind of feel that way about the band. Just they don't have to die. Just stop touring.
I was going to say, the saxophone player did die.
No, I don't want any death. I just don't want to hear it anymore. I'm done.
All my friends from high school in Cincinnati come up here every year because he never goes to Cincinnati, but he always hits Deer Creek here, and they
Yeah.
camp out for the whole weekend. And I appreciate that, but
Deer
Yeah,
Creek.
not-
I still
not for
I
me.
love that you just call it Deer Creek
Oh, yeah.
still.
I've only lived here
That's
for 3
fine.
years, and that's what everybody calls it still. So Clipsch.
Well, those of us that grew
I
up-
still call it Deer Creek.
Yeah,
I mean,
I have a hard time not.
yeah.
And it on the off chance I don't call it Deer Creek, I call it Verizon.
Well, it changed. You know, it went through a couple of name changes so quick,
3 now.
and now it is. It's Clips, but it's always gonna be Deer Creek to me. And that's when I was younger, I saw some I saw the Dead there. I mean, it's always gonna be Deer Creek to me. So
My first show was Deer Creek.
Really?
Sting and Lyle Lovett.
oh wow,
Yeah.
how was that?
Wow.
Lyle Lovett's amazing. live.
I was 7, and I remember being on the lawn and just seeing all these lights and colors and seeing they had somewhat of monitors up. You know, let's see, this is, early 90s, and so they still had some monitors up, but they aren't the ones they have now.
Right.
But I remember seeing them on there and then just hearing this extremely loud music, and my mom just not being able to sit down because she was just having such a ball. I was 7 years old, obviously couldn't fully appreciate it.
right.
But from what I remember, it was pretty cool.
So we have to call it Deer Creek because Pat and I graduated high school from Deer Creek. So
Yeah.
it's always going to be Deer Creek for me. For God's sakes, I graduated high school on the freaking stage there, I mean,
Oh really?
yeah, it'll never be anything else to me. I mean, literally, I graduated high school on the Deer Creek stage. Why would I call it anything else?
How big? What, really?
Yeah, no joke.
Why'd you do that? Well, how big was your school, for fuck's sake?
It was only 200 kids,
You did.
but they always did it at Deer Creek. That's just what they did. They don't anymore, probably because
Oh no, you can't afford it now.
yeah, they can't afford it now. But back then, it was just a little amphitheater. I mean, it's the same size, but
Yeah.
it was considered just a little
Yeah.
hometown amphitheater, and now it's freaking huge. But
Right. Tickets are cheaper back then too.
I don't think we had to pay. I don't think anybody paid for our graduation. Now they have to.
Well, I hope not.
Well, I'm a star. You got to pay to come see me graduate high school.
I was talking about the concerts, not your graduation, but
I mean, there is some shock value there still.
There is.
So-
Everybody's still amazed that I actually did it. So it's all good.
Hi, this is Mel from Alley's Alehouse. Come check us out for the best local and craft beer selection in Hamilton County and the most amazing craft food on the north side. We've always got something going on, whether it be poker, euchre, live music, or DJ bingo. You can check us out on Facebook or on our website at bulletpinheads.com.
What's the best way to make it through a long work week? Take a midweek break and join the fun every Wednesday night. at Alley's Alehouse in Fishers for Nico's Open Stage. Want to share your talent in front of a live audience? Whether it's breaking in some new material or jamming out to some favorites, Nico's Open Stage is the place to go for it. There's never a cover charge, and walk-ins are always welcome. Each week brings a featured artist and drink specials from Jack Daniels. Check out Nico's Open Stage on Facebook for more details. And come join the fun every Wednesday night at Alley's Alehouse, home of the boys of Blind Pig Confessions.
Hey, Brennan, remember that time we were on Mackinac Island? We stopped on in this bar, Goodfellas, I think it was?
I do remember that.
Man, that was a fantastic place.
Wasn't that a great night?
Yeah, guess what? We're going to be back. I can't believe they want us back. We're going to be there.
Halloween.
Halloween.
Well, the weekend before Halloween, October 22nd. And I think other people should be there with us.
If you want to join us, come in your best, scariest attire. Come as Donald Trump, whatever. And let's do this up right. I mean, we're going to have a lot of fun.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Yeah.
If you haven't been there, I mean, the island on Halloween is going to be an absolute fantastic time.
Hunter and I will keep the home front burning for you while you're away.
Oh. Goodfellas will have some great food burning for us. So,
and some great crab beer on tap.
Oh, boy.
I'm Busey.
This is Chili from Dos Ringos. You're listening to Blind Pig Confession.
Woo!
So how do you guys form your music? You're coming out with the new stuff. You guys both write, correct? Or do everybody do a little bit of writing, or?
I think all of us have the creative juices flowing. You know, we don't ever put a cap on it.
Right.
You know, we've never designated, okay, you need to produce X amount of songs in X amount of time. We just, take them as they come. And in fact, in the last couple of weeks, I know I've shown they kind of all start with a piece,
right?
A riff or a melody or kind of a rhythm or maybe we like this song in this key and mix it around to make a new one. They all start with a piece, and so there have been pieces generating and getting traded amongst us via cell phone text messages and stuff. Here's my chord progression in this key, and here's what it sounds like, and then we'll play it at home, and it goes from there.
We do a lot of are working on new songs. We don't practice much because we're also spread out.
Yeah.
But either before a show in the parking lot or after the show at 2 o'clock in the morning in the parking lot, we're always out there working. It's always a different process. It goes a little different every time. Kyle will send a riff, and I'll write some words, or John kind of brings a polished song to us. I always bring a rough song to the table, and thankfully I'm with such great musicians. They really help me flesh it out, and they'll be like, hey, so that's not the right chord for that there. Your voice is going to this, but you're playing to that, and so we'll change that, take care of it for you. It's good to work with guys with such talent.
And you kind of struck a nerve there as being, you guys are all very good musicians, and playing that kind of music, doesn't it make it easier? You don't have to practice together all the time. You can get up on stage and kind of come together because you are polished and you are guys all experienced musicians. So that kind of music makes it a little bit easier to be able to get together when you do and play. You don't have to be perfect.
Yeah.
That's not to be. That's not taking a dig. I'm just saying that kind of music you can get together and play and improv and.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why Americana folk string, string band music, whatever you want to call it. The reason there's such a jam culture around it is because it is so universal and it is so relatable and transferable, which I think is what draws so many people to it, because they can do that at their house. They can, this amazing song comes across your personal playlist or comes across your face and you just fall in love with it and you want to be able to recreate that. Keeping it a little bit more simple, you can share that experience with people at home, and I think that's what's so cool about what we do.
And there's a thing about pop music and it's polished, but you can't go to a show and just show up and go, okay, I've never heard this song and we're gonna play.
Yeah,
it's completely different atmosphere. You can't do, not that there's anything against that kind of music, but it is different.
Yeah.
And there is a thing, like you said, about getting up and jamming together that you can't do with other forms of music.
Yeah, we don't play to a click track or anything. It's off the cuff every time.
Right.
And one of my favorite things about it, and I've always said this, is that we've never played a song the same way twice. Never.
Right.
Either, somebody forgets the words and changes them, or we, take an extra break on something if we're just feeling it. There's always that kind of openness live on stage to go any direction you want.
And I think you can do that, more with bluegrass and Americana and jazz that you can't do with other forms of music.
Yeah, you don't have a drummer. We don't have a drummer we're going to throw off completely if we switch the tempo mid-song. Or, just the other night we were down in Franklin, and I said, we play this song basically every show. We play it as fast as we possibly can. And I just said the other night, let's play it slow. Let's see how that goes. And it did not go well, but we did it.
we decided right then and there that that's not going to happen again.
You can do that again.
So.
We got about halfway through us. All right, let's just get back up to normal speed here.
Yeah.
But, it was fun to try.
It's funny. You guys talk about jam. It's like a jam session, jam band almost. I remember growing up, and I have a lot of uncles and everything, and they all got together and played a lot of music together. And they're the type of people that they heard a song and they wanted to redo it. It happened instantly, you know what I mean? So it was a jam session always, but I never equated that to like a jam band, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like Dave Matthews to me a lot of times is a jam band, Grateful Dead, jam band. That's not Americana to me. A lot of times it doesn't mean jam band to me. It just means it's really good music. I don't know how to say it. I mean, like they're just really good instrumentalist, and they could play whatever the hell they wanted to play.
It's interesting that you mentioned that because in recent years, in the last probably 5 or 6 years, the two have really started to fuse between jam and Americana bluegrass bands like Yonder Mountain String Band, Green Sky Bluegrass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those bands, we had the pleasure of opening for Green Sky at the Vogue a couple years ago. And, we get up there and nail our 45-minute set, play what do we do? Probably 10 songs,
10 or
9,
12
10 songs.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Probably
and
10.
they do their entire first hour and a half set, and they've played like 6.
Yeah.
They played Purple Rain, and I was smashed at the time.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I must have had 3 shots of whiskey in that time period, and it just was going on. They'd hit the chorus again, like, really?
Yeah.
That's still okay. Purple Rain.
Hold on, I got to bring it back. You got drunk off 3 shots of whiskey?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say, sir, we need to train you a little better.
No, I've got 260 pounds and quite a few years of experience under my belt. The liver is good.
But no, I grew up. I was born in the '70s, so I grew up through a fast progression of music changing very quickly through the '70s and the '80s and the '90s, and things just started getting more technology, which is very cool, especially for recording-wise like that. But even the sounds were becoming more computerized, and if you guys know what I'm talking about, I know you do. But it started to go so much in another direction. But now you're starting to see it come back to the roots again, which is very cool. I think that's why the Americana is coming back around. It is getting bigger, and even the big jam bands, people are starting to do more of that and just playing music again and plugging in a guitar and going at it and not hooking up a piano to a
synthesizer.
It's true because we got away from that, and not that there's anything wrong. Music's music. If it makes you feel good, fucking awesome.
Yeah.
But it seems like we're starting to come back to the roots after we were getting so far away for a while.
Yeah, and I think that music. I read something recently that talked about how music kind of grew with what you listen to it on. At first, the original bluegrass of the 20s and stuff coming out of a phonograph,
right? And
then eventually into record players and so on and so forth. Now we have these MP4s and these extremely digital,
right?
And the sound's kind of gotten to that point. But I think we're starting to realize that there's something that we missed about, naturally reverberated sound out of a piece of wood with wire across it,
right?
And that can be just as beautiful as an incredible drum machine or synthesizer. So
and have more feeling to me.
Well, the technology is even coming back that way.
We talked about vinyl at Metazoa,
right? Well, you're when you get that digital piece, if you're a nerd like me, I can watch the waveforms and it's squared. It's all block, and you miss those slight curves, you miss those slight tweaks. That while you may not consciously be able to hear it, you can subconsciously feel it. Even a lot of the technology now is throwing back to tube. It's freaking expensive to get one of those, but
damn near got to buy everything from Russia.
But it's still it's going back to that warm sound. It's trying to pull in some of the imperfections, which really make you feel the music rather than just listen to the music all the time.
It's true. You put on an album. Robert Federson was talking about this, and we couldn't agree more that you see an album, you can see the needle rolling, and you can feel it. You
just
can't
going back
feel
analog.
that on a CD,
going back analog.
Yeah,
too. They're recording analog. People are
different.
Trying to pulling out their old 8-tracks, or the track recorders, and trying to cut a little bit of that digital piece out of it.
Well, hell, you see like Fender and a lot of other amp companies trying to come back with these tube amps.
Yeah. Yep.
They're not the same whatsoever.
That was the old days. No,
you're not paying that $5,000 for a 62 amp. That you should to get that sound. They come out with these pedals and all this and all that, and it still doesn't have the right sound.
We're blessed here in Indy to be surrounded by recording studios that have that stuff on
Which
hand.
is fantastic.
Absolutely. And they've got all these solid tube preamps and the actual
Yep.
amps, and they're just loaded with this stuff. And we wouldn't think that stuff would be floating around Indianapolis, but it is. And you've got your choice of where you want to go and who you want to work with in these great rooms. And these great soundboards all across the area here. So it's a cool place to be making music right now.
Where did this last album come out of?
This actually came out of a basement in Irvington.
Nice.
That's my old stomping grounds.
Nice.
That's where I grew up.
Yeah, so when we were looking to record our first album, pretty much anybody we play with, I try to buy their album, their CD or whatever it is that they've got, because I just love accumulating local music. And I bought a bunch of CDs from a band called James and the Drifters. They're out of Fort Wayne. And they're great, and they've been through a bunch of lineup changes and still making good music. But, I just looked on the back of their albums. It was always suspended audio. I was like, well, I got to call these guys, man. I love the sound of this. So we found Adam Cox at Suspended Audio. It's just him and his laptop, really, and he's got a great setup. We recorded the first album out of they were renting a piece of a farmhouse.
Yeah.
And so, we had to shut the dog up and take the clocks off the walls and everything. But, we recorded it in his living room there. And then for business purpose, he's doing it professionally now. He moved down to Irvington and has got a little setup in his basement.
Nice.
And so we did the second one down there. It was a lot quieter. No barking dogs or mooing cows or anything.
It's like them old pornos.
You kind of miss. You
Don't you need that in
those
Americana?
cows, yeah.
A little bit of cow sounds in the back, and
It's natural.
We start talking about recording studios like that. One of my kind of new faves, Nathaniel Radcliffe and the Night Sweats. You start watching it, they post photos of where they're recording it and everything. You're thinking, that is what you would want to record in. I mean, that is somebody's basement. Or, look at that board. That had to have been made in 1953. Yeah. You know what I mean? Type of thing. That's it. That's a ticket. And they get a great sound.
Oh, it's incredible.
I actually really love them. I dig the shit out of them right now. So.
Yeah.
So, guys, I think we're at that point in the show here where we're going to take a quick break. Everybody looks like they need a beer refill, and then we're going to come back here and talk some more with the Stampede String Band.
All right, thanks.
This is Jerry with Bier Brewery. You're listening to that great show, The Blind Pig Confessions.
All right, we all know y'all listen to Blind Pig for our beer conversations and our weird antics, but have you guys heard about this new place, Madison's?
Isn't that place on Main Street in Pendleton?
Yeah, that place.
That it is. A fantastic Italian restaurant in Pendleton.
But fantastic restaurant means nothing when you talk about their great bourbon selection and scotch.
Oh, yes, and beer.
But beer.
They're known for that scotch and bourbon selection, which, if you've seen pictures on site, holy cow.
And we had to be right next to these guys at the Dig In Festival, where I had to watch them chop duck all day and smell this delicious food. It was amazing.
You look good in raw meat.
I do.
Good news is we're doing a show there real soon, so stay tuned. It'll be up here real soon for you guys.
October 25th, actually.
Ooh, that is soon. Good call, cowboy. So we took a quick break, and now we're back.
We do have
Everybody has a
beer
in front of them now.
Yeah.
We actually have a sample in front of us. Why don't we go ahead and knock that sample out? It's there. It's
Knock it
beer.
out.
Let's try it.
I don't think it deserves just to be knocked out. I think it's actually a lot better than that.
Oh, what are we drinking? I haven't lifted it yet.
This is Evil Czech.
Okay.
We all know how much we love Evil Czech.
I was going to say, enough said there. It's got to be good.
Good.
This is their red. Anyway,
One of the most fun shows we've ever done is at Evil Czech Brewery.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Great place. Loved it.
Can we tell our Evil Czech story?
Yes.
Oh, please do.
Before we talk about the beer, do it. Tell the Evil Czech story.
And real quick, just know, Evil Czech will be at Alley's in 2 nights.
Oh, yeah?
I this we'll have to edit this out, obviously. Edit. They will be here in 2 nights. So whatever you say, we'll get back to them.
Yeah, Evil Czech was here a few nights ago.
Yeah, there it is. Perfect.
So they had a place in Culver, and I knew the Methodist minister there in Culver, and he had us up, and we were going to play. What festival was that? They had like a blueberry festival.
Yeah,
a little town festival.
Yeah, it was it was the Lake Fest, is what it was.
Yeah. And so we were there to play that on like a Sunday morning after the service. We played at the Lake House up there, Lake House Restaurant, and Evil Czech Brewery, and they like moved a table for us, and we could get in there. It was real nice of them to host us.
Moved a table for all 17 of you.
Yeah. And but they had the restaurant there in Culver, and they had a wings challenge. Eat the spicy wings. And you had to eat the wings and wash it down with their was it a jalapeno pilsner?
They had a habanero stout.
Habanero stout.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Habanero stout?
Yes.
Really?
Wow. And it was not
Texture.
a pint, or it was not one of these sample glasses. It was a liter.
Yeah.
Massive mug.
Instead of ranch, you got that to dip in.
Yeah, it was like some coleslaw or something.
Yeah, potato salad or something heavy.
Yeah, it was brutal. The Methodist minister, our buddy, he wolfed it down. He had plenty of time to spare. But John, the guy in our band, he got ate alive. It's probably the best. I'm terrible at taking pictures. Probably the best photo I've ever taken is of the agony on his face at the end of this thing when he ran out of time. Oh, yeah. So.
Yeah, and what was the funniest part about it was his only motivation was if I eat it all, it's free. He could care.
Right.
He really was going for time initially, but then he was like, all I have to do is finish it to get it for free. I just get the T-shirt if I win the contest. And so he finished it all, and sure enough, he got his meal for free.
That's right.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the first time we played. What was that song that Lady walked us through?
Oh, it was Seven Bridges Road.
7 Bridges Road. We do it all the time now.
Yeah.
And this lady fed us the
song,
lines, and we sang it.
Really?
Yeah, and got through it.
The harmony was there. It's just that we couldn't remember all the words.
No
and someone in the crowd actually knew all the words.
Were you so drunk you couldn't remember the words, or
we forgot the particular order in which they went?
Yeah.
So one lady actually, like Aaron said, line per line, in between each sung line, she would yell out what the next line was, and then we would then sing it. And it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, we'd sing, "There are stars in the southern sky," and then we'd wait for her to tell us the next line.
Yeah.
Southward as you go.
Nice.
Yeah,
So
Great Steve Young.
Gotta love the audience.
Speaking of a hot burger challenge, Hunter is the only one of us that have taken the Alley's. Alley's has their own challenge here
He's the only one that do the challenge
on the show. Yeah.
We've had other people in the group, mainly Brennan, that actually orders that sandwich on a nightly.
Right, but he doesn't get the whole fries and the whole experience and everything. So Hunter did it, and he only got about 3/4 of the way through it. But he did well. You did well, sir. You paid for it the rest of the night, but
The week.
And I think the next day, yeah.
For sure the next day.
I remember seeing text of, I fucking hate you.
But they use scorpion peppers, the second hottest pepper in the world.
Yeah.
And they marinate it overnight, and then they put a dry rub of it on the fries.
It's
brutal.
And
it's got scorpion jam on
it. It was hot. But what they didn't tell you, or what they didn't tell me, is that the fries were like that. So I was like, I'm going to mow a couple of these fries real quick first. Didn't realize there was a dry rub on it. Holy shit.
It's like
about as close to raw dogging as you're going to get.
Oh, my gosh.
I equate it to that cinnamon challenge because you get that rush of that dry, and you can't eat anything else.
Nope.
And the burger is fucking hot, but it's delicious.
It's hot, but it's
the
delicious.
fries, it's that dry rub that kills you.
Yeah.
So I think you have to try and put them on that sandwich to get it all in, to get away from the dryness.
Yeah.
And it's like the cinnamon challenge. That's what it seems like.
There's
the
a
burger's
middle,
delicious.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's a middle state you have to get ready. You're like, all right, okay, I'm preparing myself. I'm getting ready to take this first bite. And I take some of the bite of the first fries, just thinking I'm eating some fries because that's part of it. And when that flavor hit my mouth and that burning hit my mouth. Well,
You got really seductive there, real quick.
I did.
Flavor hit my mouth.
Cowboy, my mouth was really wet.
At the time,
So-
yeah.
Yes, it
Moist.
was. So.
But it's
It
funny to
was
watch
moist.
people do it, and they think, okay, I'm just going to nail that hamburger, and they're going to down it as quick as possible.
What was the old boy?
And then, the
Yeah.
first couple of bites, like, oh, this isn't that bad. And
Yep. And then it catches up.
holy.
And then all of a sudden you start
Haymaker.
seeing sweat
Yeah.
beads roll down the.
Yeah.
What was old boy?
Tears.
He's a local.
Ben Myers.
Ben Myers.
Yes.
Yeah, he did that here recently.
He
and-
cleared
Oh.
the outside deck.
Yeah.
But
he had to
kept
call his
going,
good friend
too.
Ralph.
Yeah, I mean he was hurting and he kept going as far as he could. So you gotta give him
It looked
props.
bad. I mean, it was.
Oh,
bad.
he was
Yeah.
in pain.
So speaking of which, this beer.
Yeah,
The Evil Czech Red. We were talking about that.
we do love Evil Czech. They had one of my favorite beers I've ever had up there was an English, what do they call it? The 2-finger in double English IPA up there.
Cowboy
And,
loves 2 fingers.
Every time I can
Fantastic.
beer
So
with
I'm
2 fingers, I'm good.
I'm excited for the Evil Czech.
We love Evil Czech. This is the O'Keefe's Irish Red.
Yes,
It's fantastic. Brendan, you're the same.
I'm not a red beer fan.
We're not. I don't necessarily know any pig that is a red fan per se.
It's usually
I
too
like
sweet
a good
for me.
Irish red.
You do?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I do. There's a lot of them I don't like.
Oh yeah.
This particular one right here, I really enjoyed it.
That's a great beer.
Great beer. Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely, it's a great
Yep.
beer. I'm not a red fan, but
Yep.
it's a very good beer.
This one I
Yep.
get a really, like when you're smelling it, really heavy cinnamon.
Yeah,
I get a really heavy, and at front you almost get that cinnamon, almost candied cinnamon.
I was gonna say, it's smelling red hot.
Yeah, at first, but it washes really quick. You almost get a brown feel to it.
That's what I get at. I mean, and again, to me, that's what I get out of reds and browns. They always that little bit similar
Kind of
nuttiness.
Yeah.
Nutty, yeah, that I don't just really care for.
But this one's really clean. I mean, I really like it. The only other one I can say that I like better is BJ's Brewhouse Jeremiah Red, which I'm a huge fan of.
That's as a red. That's by far one of my favorites around this.
I think it is my
sure.
favorite. And I'm not a huge fan of BJ's Brewhouse as far as their beers go, but that one is fantastic.
Yeah.
So reds for me are usually too sweet. This one kind of follows suit. It's a little too sweet for me on the back, but as far as reds go, I'll say it is a good red. But I'm not a sweet drinker, and I get a lot of sweetness out of this one.
See, I think
it's not a Killian sweet because
No.
that tastes
Not
like
that
candy
sweet.
to me, and I mean I can drink this.
See, I get sweetness up front. It's almost that that kind of artificial sweetener flavor. You know what I mean? That aspartame flavor at front, but it's almost a good quality though, like almost a candy cinnamon flavor up front, but aspartame as well, and then it cleans out. I mean, it's a really clean beer. It's really good, I think.
Again, for a red, I would drink it. I wouldn't ever refuse it. But for my own personal palate, I'm not a big sweet person. It's still too sweet for me. But most reds are too sweet for me. So, but on the scale of reds, it's definitely way better than Killian's. Not even in the same freaking ballpark. And
I don't
it's
even
one
know
of the
how
better
they
reds
still,
I've had.
I don't even understand how they still sell beer. Really and truly, Killian's Irish Red. How the
Liquid
hell?
sugar.
I still don't get it. I mean, I know people that love sweet beers, and they don't get that. I don't. How do they still sell beer? How? I
Because
don't get
my
it.
father-in-law drinks it.
Okay, he's the one in the country.
Cowboy, this company is still selling that beer.
That's better than this. It's better than Killian's.
I don't think bathtub.
Dale's Pale Ale is better than Killian's Irish Red.
I have to disagree. I'm sorry.
No, not
I
at
have
all.
to disagree. I'm sorry. Nope.
I'm almost
Nope.
with Hunter on this one.
Nope.
I almost would have to take a Killian's over a Dale's.
Nope.
I'm not a Dale's fan.
Yeah,
I can't
I don't know
it.
what's been in that bathtub, man.
But it sure does make it taste like shit.
I would bathe in that bathtub before having another Killian's Irish Red.
I think you did.
I tell you what I do enjoy, besides this old style,
which
is a Cubbies win tonight. It's gonna happen.
Yes.
Of course, now
Yes.
we're recording now. I'm being I'm a little ESP because We're enjoying this beer, an hour before the game starts? This is
About
game
an
4
hour,
tonight,
yeah.
and we're
About
going to win
half hour,
tonight.
yeah.
Oh, my dear God.
My Tigers aren't in it this year,
Yeah.
and I'm all for pulling for the Cubbies, and I think they're going to do it tonight. So by the time this
Game
comes
4.
out, we'll have done it. It'll all be over. We'll be in the next series already. So
Oh, absolutely.
I'm having an old style just for the Cubbies tonight.
That's exactly what I'm going to switch to for my last 2 beers right before we leave.
I told him the exact same thing.
I got to brush my teeth for a week after having one of those. I usually brush my teeth very rarely.
It's not your fault. You're a Reds fan.
but I will after an old style.
More of a Bleeding Gums Murphy type of guy. Yeah.
Those Cincinnati guys, you just got to always look out for them.
Yeah. So what do you root for in sports?
I'm a Reds fan, or a Bengals fan, a Cincinnati Cyclones.
How have you not hung yourself yet?
It's rough. I write a lot of songs, man.
Hey, wait a minute.
I write a lot of songs.
We'll use it as fuel.
Fuck off, I'm a Lions fan. He's got nothing on me.
Yeah, it's fodder. I've got just demolished my whole life. You build you up, tear you down
I'm
year
not gonna
after
lie.
year.
I've been a Cubs fan and a Colts fan for a very long time, and I've contemplated it.
Well, I can relate to that because I've also been a Cubs fan and Colts fan for the majority of my life, and I got to say that the Colts victories made the Cubs losses a lot easier.
Oh yeah.
Because when the Cubs losses were occurring, at least you got to see Peyton on Sunday.
Yeah.
So
it's all right.
that there was that even balance. So now we got the 2016 Colts, and we get to watch the Cubs in the playoffs.
So far, it's worked out really good in my lifespan. When Cubs have done well, this is the only time.
Let's
And-
ask this: are they going to do it this year?
Yes.
I don't know. And I said this last year. Last year was definitely not the year for the Cubs. And I knew that going into it. They're still a very, very young team. But they did very well, and I was really happy about it. I knew that they would do well for the Cubs. This year, you shut up, Pat. Nobody pulled your fucking string.
Pat, you want to?
This was the year that we all kind of said, and I think everybody said, if it's going to happen in our lifetime, this is probably going to be the year. I really, God bless it. I hope this is the year, and I feel like it is, but it wouldn't surprise me, obviously, as a Cubs fan, if we didn't. I mean,
there's this mentality that you build as a Cubs fan. that you are always optimistic, you're always hopeful, but you know better than to
to bet any money on
exactly.
You've been
but
trained.
I do have to say that the last time I felt this, I don't know, much power and energy around a baseball season in my lifetime anyway was around the 98 summer when you had the McGuire Sosa saga.
Right.
Oh yeah.
And from the winter meetings to spring training to opening day to the All-Star game, just throughout the entire year, there's been nothing but positive energy and positive, things happening for the Cubs.
Right.
When they'd go out and they'd lose 4 straight, they'd take a day off, come back and win 6 straight.
Yeah.
And, I think that it's refreshing to have Joe Madden with such simple expectations.
Mm-hmm.
He's not saying you have to go out and be perfect, but he just says keep it simple.
Right.
Try not to suck today. You know what
And
I mean?
that-
That's
it's
really all you can do.
The Reds need to try that. just don't suck today, guys.
Which is funny because, I would still put us, the Cubs 2016 against the 2000 Mariners, let's just say, and I would still be a little bit pessimistic.
Yeah, well, I think you get the Cubs fan have been waiting so long, and they are very good now, so it's like, okay, this is it. Well, I think they're going to be a good team for a while. They have a great young team, a great young core. They're going to be good for a while, but everyone's like, oh, it's got to be now. Because they're so afraid if it's not now, they're not going to be around.
Never.
But I don't think that's the truth. I think they've built a great team now, and I do think they'll be around for a while. And I do think they have a very good chance of going all the way because they have a great team, and they've looked so damn good. A team that has quietly just won all year is the Indians.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
And, I'm sorry. They look damn good. And nobody's talked about them all year because the story is the Cubs.
Well, how can you not like a Cinderella story?
Well, I know, and everybody wants. And I think I'm pulling for them, too. I hope they go all the way, and they're going to be good for a while, which is awesome. But yeah. I doubt it.
Who am I kidding?
Well,
I think they like everybody talking about the Cubs.
Well, they do. They have to.
for sure.
Yeah.
Because they can just sit back and do their thing. And
Because
I'm sorry,
again,
they look like a scary team.
They are probably the most underrated team in baseball this year.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right.
And
Still want my Cubs to go.
you keep having those residuals from the 2004 Boston Red Sox. You've got Theo Epstein now running front office. You've got Terry Francona running Cleveland, and you've still got those sort of ties coming in. Those guys know what it's like to break a curse, and Theo's building the proper building blocks to not just win a World Series and then have everyone split off to go sign big contracts. He signed guys like Addison Russell and Javier Baez and Wilson Contreras and these young guys to 6-7 year contracts because he doesn't want to build just one winning team. He wants to build a dynasty. So that's pretty exciting to see in there too.
Well, I think you bring up a good point because that Theo Epstein team with the Boston Red Sox was a young team too, and I think this year's Cubs are young enough to not realize the pressure that they're really under. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You get a few years down the road and we still haven't won a World Series, it gets tougher again.
Well, that's why I think, like I said, I don't think that team is so good and so young that they're not feeling it. The fans feel it.
Absolutely. Yep.
But that team hasn't, most of those kids haven't been around long enough to understand what the Cubs fans have been going through. So
Who's Bartman?
Who?
What do you mean we haven't won a World Series?
2003, I was 5.
I mean, obviously they're playing baseball. They know the story, but they haven't felt it. They haven't lived it like Cubs fans have. So it's different. It's different.
So, and that's why I think if this, because the stars are aligning and this is a young team, I do think this is one of our best shots. I mean, we, as a Cubs fan, every time we made the playoffs, it's like, oh, here we go. but this year, I actually believe that this team is way different than those other temes.
That's what would make it so tragic.
I know.
But I don't want to. I'm not going to bring that in.
I'm not going to bring that in, right?
I'm just telling you, if it happens, if it doesn't happen, there's probably going to be a whole lot of season tickets come up for sale.
Oh yeah.
Which is sad because people hold on to them until they die.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, I think after this year, if it doesn't happen, there's probably gonna be a few come up.
Which is sad because they could be more dominant next year. I mean, that's
could be.
Really.
In which it could. And again, they're still a very young team. A very young team. Last year, everyone said, "Oh, they're a young team." This year, they're even younger, which is insane. But look what they're doing.
But look at the pitching staff, though. I mean, you got your John Lesters, you got your John Lackey. Those guys have been there.
You've got long-term names. I mean, which is insane for yet a young team. And I think those are the guys that are actually saying, "Look, motherfuckers, this is what we can do. Come along."
And I'm calling it right now. Kyle Hendricks is the reincarnation of Greg Maddux.
Oh, thank God.
Can't throw over 90, but he'll put that thing on a dime.
Yep.
Anywhere.
Yep.
Anywhere. That catcher will point, right here. Okay. It's weird.
Let's talk about some music.
Where are you guys? I mean,
we do a band.
Got a song about the Cubs?
Do you have a song about the Cubs? Do you occasionally play any Cubs songs?
I would love to. In fact, I always thought we should do a "Take Me Out to the Ball Game" kind of version, but I would yell Cubbies instead of home team, so everyone else
that could be a problem.
Yeah. We can say Red Legs. I don't know.
It's terrible when they do that down in
and they're louder than Reds fans.
Yeah. Oh man, going to a Reds game against the Cubs down in Cincinnati is terrible.
That's a fun. It's always a good game, though. I mean, really and truly, a Reds and Cubs game. It's always fun to go watch.
Yeah, well, as a Cubs fan, I'm sure. There's nothing like seeing your stadium being taken over by, hundreds of thousands of Cubs fans. It feels like. I mean, you can't even, go anywhere without being surrounded by them.
Well, no, but it's just a fun game to watch. I mean, it's been a rival for years. They're close enough to say we're friends, but yet we're going to whoop your ass.
Yeah.
Both sides, though. I mean, both sides. How many times did the Reds beat Cubs? And
this year?
6.
Well, this year.
The last 10 years.
Total. 6, maybe 7.
I used to get disgusted. Disgusted by those games. I'm not going to watch them. As of lately, I'm real happy to watch them again.
Yeah, sure. Rough year for the Red Legs.
So what does Stampede have coming up here in the future?
We're doing better than the Reds.
Thank God.
Maybe not as good as the Cubs, but
got more fans.
Yeah, right.
We've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. Actually, we have on October 22nd, we're heading down to Brown County. We haven't been down there in quite a while, and that's one of our original stomping grounds when we're getting started. We got a lot of love in Brown County, Nashville.
Big Woods.
And
Big Woods.
Big Woods. I'm drinking a busted knuckle right now.
They have supported us since the beginning, man, for 5 years. When they had one tiny little cheeseburger restaurant down there.
But I tell you what, Quafon, Big Woods, love every bit of them.
Oh yeah,
make fantastic beer.
No better people.
Killer food, and I think that may do it for me. Their beer's good. Their food is killer, but the people down there are so fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I can eat pulled pork nachos from down there all
absolutely.
damn day.
And their pizza. Their pizza's amazing. I could just get fatter on their pizza.
Well, the an old music venue down there that was called the Red Barn Jamboree is now under new management, and they're hosting shows, and we were lucky enough to snag a Saturday night on October 22nd. We'll be down there having a party. We're not sure who else is going to join us on that show, so pay attention, and we'll stay tuned to the Facebook page and the website, and we'll make sure you guys find out about that. That's coming up on October 22nd. On November 12th, we're heading back to the Fiddler's Hearth in South Bend.
Another, thank God, win?
Which we played for the first time. That's November 12th. We're going to be up there. We played there for the first time. What was that? Late July?
Yeah.
It was hot. Absolutely. Yeah, it was very hot. And it was fantastic. We had a great time. The sound guy sits up in his own little booth there in the back of that little room.
So who's the dark beer drinker then? You like Busted Knuckle?
I like Busted Knuckle, and that's definitely my favorite Big Woods brew. But I didn't dig too deep into the dark beers over Fiddlers.
They have a Firkin tap. That's a cask.
What'd you just call me? No.
They've got a Firkin line, and it is amazing.
I'll have to give that a shot.
It's such a killer place, man.
From what I understand, it's always like a brandy cask, which is even better to me when you're talking that dark of a beer.
Yeah.
Fantastic place.
Yeah. Great place to play. There's such the crowd is always amazing.
Oh,
the
yeah.
People there are great.
That blew us away. We had such a great reception there. We had played a small festival earlier in the afternoon in Plymouth, and we worked our way up there, and so many of the people we mentioned the show, and a lot of those people came to Fiddlers.
Nice.
We couldn't determine just how many we maybe attracted from there, or maybe we're planning on going to both anyway. But it was just fantastic, and that's coming up on November 12th.
Oh,
we're excited to get back up there.
I'll be up there with you. I'll bring some people up there to see you guys.
Yeah, it's a game day.
Yeah.
And then our biggest show so far coming up this holiday season is going to be the night before Thanksgiving. We're opening up a WTTS Presents show for Reverend Peyton's Big Damn Band.
Oh, nice.
I have to miss that one.
Yeah.
I made a family commitment before we booked. So I'll be out of town, but they picked up a killer bass player, Tobe, our boy Tobe.
Yeah,
is gonna sit in.
We're excited
for
to have
me
him play
and do some good work. So
excited to have him play.
It won't quite be the stage presence. It won't quite be the stage presence.
He has such nice hair.
But he is a killer picker, and we're excited to have him sit in with us for the night. And that was such a blast last year. We got inebriated heavily at that show. There was
they don't often leave just full bottles of whiskey out there at the Vogue, but the Rev must have had it on the rider, and we were there too.
It's on ours, right?
So you partake.
Yeah.
What's theirs is mine.
Yeah, and then lo and behold, we get able to get up on stage. His last two songs of the night.
Oh, nice.
They had this big chest full of percussion instruments, maracas and tambourines and kind of the whole deal, and we were just plastered and picked him up. And there's actually a hilarious video of Davey. Well, I don't know if we'll have to dig that out, send you a link for it or something. But he's just standing on stage acting like like he's possessed, doing a Santeria ceremony or something.
The drunker he gets, the more buttons come down on his plaid shirt.
Yeah, that's his
He had
meter.
like one left to go till he was full bare chest up there with everybody. Yeah.
And that is a band that you can't get respect for it until you see them live.
Oh, yeah.
They're so amazing.
Yeah.
I remember hearing about them, then I heard a few, listened to them, like, oh, these guys are right. Then I saw them live over for Flogging here in town, and I think at the Vogue, and I was like, holy fuck, these guys are amazing. That live show, they are so good, so talented, but it's you have to see them live.
Oh yeah, I certainly would recommend it, and that show sells out every year. In fact, if you would like, contact us directly at the Stampede String Band. We have tickets for sale that we want to deliver to you in person. Within reason, and
will you deliver them naked?
Potentially. That depends on the deal.
That
depends on the deal. I never say never.
This is probably the wrong show to be saying that on, but all right, we're gonna make this happen now.
It's a 15% surcharge. Kyle will show up in his Buick.
Yeah.
And strip in your front yard.
Yeah. And plus bail. So if you want to, get your tickets hand delivered and maybe get some merch in the process, you never know. We're always handing out stuff and like to, treat the Stampede fans well. They've been so good to us, buying records, buying shirts, and coming to shows and everything. And, we're just really excited to have these shows coming up here.
Good deal.
Well, since you guys are going to be in Nashville here really soon, hit up a place called Bear Wallow Distillery. I don't know if you guys have heard of them.
No.
Really good people. Really down-home earth people. They love just grassroots people. I think you guys fit in really well.
What are they making down there?
Whiskey.
Yeah. Is that right next to the Red Barn?
It's real close. It's
right.
real close.
I know there's one right there.
You guys will be very, very close to them. They do an unaged, and they do a bourbon barrel. They do quite a bit. You guys, I think, will fit right in with them.
Yeah, there's actually some really cool details along with the October 22nd show at the Red Barn. It's $10 admission, but it's BYOB. And there's camping available with your admission.
Oh, nice.
You can camp out back. Your admission gets you camping ability. And it's BYOB. They just ask cans only in the theater.
Sweet. That's awesome.
Fantastic.
That's beautiful.
So, yeah, I mean, it's, cheap night out.
Yeah.
We look forward to packing the place out. A lot of our friends that, make music down there on a regular basis, we can't wait to try and get them out and have a big party. The after party's where it's always going to be at. So,
absolutely.
In a place like Nashville, you never know where that's going to go.
There you go. Well, hey, guys, it's been a fucking pleasure to have you guys on again.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, definitely. Thank you very much.
It's been a fun show. You guys come back anytime you want. We can even have we like to do just plain old music topics sometimes and come down and have a debate on some music. So
I'd
love to have you guys
back.
That's actually
one of our favorite topics,
Yeah, that's my day to day.
Well, let's do it sometime. Great to have you guys on, man.
I'm ready to switch to old style. You guys good?
Let's do it.
Let's go Cubs.
Go Cubs.
Go Cubs.
My body's growing weary, but there ain't no other way to set a post down in the ground, but to dig that dirt away. Well, I've got 3 long miles to go, digging these damn post holes. I've got 3 long miles to go, 3 miles, Lord, before I'm home. Well, I buried those posts deep, solid in the earth. Now I gotta lay in all of those rails before I rest my bones on my heart. Yeah, I've got 6 long miles to go, 6 days before I'm home. I've got 6 long miles to go, 6 days, Lord, before